Hello, good evening to everyone. Welcome back to our channel. This is a series for TNSET, and we have started our home science unit, wherein we have discussed the human development related topics. So, before beginning for the questions, let me give you a brief intro. As an PE Professor Academy, is offering a crash course on paper one, in which we are covering all the important topics of paper one. The course duration is from Feb 17 to March 5th, and these classes, if you want to join, you can contact in the number given below. And these classes will help you to score more than 70 marks in your paper one. And we all know how important those 70 marks are for us. So let's begin. Hello, good evening to all of you. Welcome to our channel. So, as you all know, we have started with our preparation of TNSET of home science. So, before starting our today's lecture, let me give you a brief intro about our crash course, which we are offering as Professor Academy. So, this is a crash course on paper one. Okay, the duration of a course is from Feb 17 to March 5th. Here you will have all the important topics which are from paper 1. They will be covered in these lectures, and you know how important our paper 1 is, and this course will help you to gain more than 70 marks in paper 1, and you know how important those marks are. So if you want to join the crash course, please contact in the number given below. And to know more details, you can also call on the number given below. So let's begin with our PYQs. So the previous year questions of TNSET, we'll solve them, which are basically related to human development. So these topic, the revision we have covered in the last lecture, and today we'll starting with the questions. So the first question is, according to which theory humans are driven by inborn instincts of which they are largely unconscious? Option A is psychoanalytical theory. Option B is psychosocial theory. Option C is cognitive developmental theory. And the last option is learning theory. Let's understand these options. So when we talk about psychoanalytic theory, it is about unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind, which was given by Freud. He has explained it in his iceberg theory. Okay. When we talk about psychosocial theory, this is the theory given by Erik Erikson, as we have studied, and it has 8 stages. So this is our psychosocial theory. So this, and now the third option was cognitive developmental theory, which was given by Jean Piaget, and he has given 4 different stages and how our cognition developed throughout these stages. Then we have theories of learning. There are many theories such as cognitive learning, social learning theory, operant conditioning, classical conditioning, and behaviorism. There are actually 5 theories that you need to learn to cover the theories of learning. So these were our 4 options. After understanding each option, we know that when we're talking about inborn instincts and largely about unconscious mind, we are talking about psychoanalysis. So with all confidence, we'll mark option number A as our correct answer. Moving towards the second question, which is adolescent is a dash between childhood and adulthood that takes place in a particular cultural environment. The given options are A, critical period, B, stagnation period, C, developmental period, and D is transitional period. So if you'll understand each options, when we talk about critical period, it is related to a specific time where we have certain experience, which are actually very important for our development. The second option was stagnation, which means the phase where there is no growth or very little growth, and which is not actually applicable to adolescent phase. Here we are growing very much. When we talk about developmental period, it is a phase which involves growth and development, changes across different life stages. Like it is happening. Okay. And when we talk about transitional period, this is a phase between our childhood and adulthood, and it is actually fitting perfectly for the question that was asking about our adolescent phase, which is that period. So without any doubt, we are gonna mark option number D as our correct answer. So adolescence is a transitional period between childhood and adulthood that takes place in a particular cultural environment. Okay. Moving towards the second question, third question actually, which is the 5 key elements of dash are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. The given options are A, spiritual intelligence, B, social intelligence, C, emotional intelligence, and D is kinesthetic intelligence. So it is talking about self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. From the question, we can infer what it is actually talking. Let's understand each options. The first one is spiritual intelligence. Here we are talking about spirituality, moral values of our daily life decisions. When we talk about social intelligence, it is our social relationships, environments, and how effectively we are forming them. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions and also the emotions of other. It is very important to understand other person's emotions also, then only we will infer to as emotional intelligence. Then we have kinesthetic intelligence, which is the skill of using body movement coordination to express ideas or solve problem. So when we are talking about this question, let me ask you one thing, in which we have studied these intelligence, which theory we are talking about. The question is from which theory. So if you have studied the lecture before, so you know that this is related to our multi-intelligence theory, which was given by Howard Gardner. After understanding all the options we know, when we are talking about self awareness, self regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills, we are of course talking about emotional intelligence. So option number C is our correct answer. Next question is tendencies of adolescents which are prominently reoccurring referred as second adolescence comes at. Okay, the given options are adolescence stage, B is adulthood stage, C is old stage, then we have last, that is preschool stage. Let's understand the options. When we are talking about A option, and which is adolescent stage, this is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood. We are making rapid physical and emotional changes here. Okay, when we are talking about adulthood stage, this can be said as a second adolescence, because we are in the phase of adulthood often during middle life, okay, where individual may experience identity exploration and emotional shift similar to adolescent. In adulthood also we explore things in our work environment and potato thing in relationships and new relationships, new relatives that are adding after the marriage. So we are actually trying to explore that, so it can be said as a second adolescent phase. In adolescence we are exploring our peer group. Okay, we are at 18, 17, 16, teenage, but in adulthood it can be said as a second adolescence, because we are again exploring about ourself and creating ourselves again. Okay, when we talk about the C option, that was old stage, we are referring to late adulthood of aging, where physical cognitive decline may occur. We know that old age is this age where we are losing our daily activities. It is hard to even do the things that we used to do very easily. The last is preschool stage. This is a early childhood phase occurring on the basis of learning and socialization. Okay, we have just entered in the school age, so yeah, we are learning so many things. When we talk about second adolescent phase, it is option number B, adulthood stage. Moving towards the next question, that is Piaget reasoned that before the individual can organize and interpret it, experience, they must first, the given options are represent it mentally, B, create schemas, C, intellectualize it, and the D is re- receive appropriate tuition. Okay, tuition. The options, let's understand each option one by one. So when we are talking about A option, that is represented mentally. So here Piaget is emphasizing on creating our schemas as the first step in organizing experience. This is what we have studied in the revision session. The second option is create schemas. Okay, Piaget also believed that a cognitive structure that he called schema are the foundation of our interpreting and organizing our experience. So yeah, this can also be a right answer. Then see, we have intellectualized it. Okay, Piaget's theory focused on how knowledge is constructed, not actually intellectualizing. So no, this one is of course wrong. Then we have D, received appropriate tuition. Tuition is never promoted by any theorist. We know that. So it is like he emphasized on self-directed learning, not the environment where you are just having a formal tuition classes or anything. So C and D we will eliminate. Let's see what is the correct answer. So the correct answer of the question, which was Piaget reasoned that before the individual can organize and interpret experience, they must first create schemas. Obviously, when we are trying to experience things, that was in the stage of accommodation and assimilation. But here we are talking about just create those schemas. At least know what dog looks like. There is a word called dog. Okay, it is very important to know that. And then we'll do assimilation accommodation. Okay. Next question is, in Vygotsky's interactive approach, a guide or teacher gets the child's attention, demonstrates the skill and structure, the interaction to help the child learn. Okay. The option A is self-esteem building, B is scaffolding, C is cognitive structuring, and D is intelligence queen. Let's see what is the explanation for these options. So option number A is self-esteem building. So this is focused on enhancing child's sense of worth, what we are. Scaffolding is structured support which is provided by a guide or to a child to learn and develop. This could be the right answer. Don't you think so? Then we have C, that is cognitive structuring. It involves organizing and planning the child's cognitive process. Okay, this we have studied in the theory of Jean Piaget actually. When we talk about the last option, which is intelligence coming, it is not a standard of Vygotsky's theory. We know like this was never there in the theory. So D will be actually eliminated. Now we will see. The correct answer is B, that is scaffolding. The support, it is talking about the support the child should get to understand or interact or to learn anything new. That is scaffolding. We know that. Okay. Then we have next question, which is dream, mentioned relationship, and occupational decisions are the task of A, middle adulthood, B, early adulthood, C, late adulthood, and the last option is old age. So the question is dream, mentioned relationship, and occupational decisions. So we can infer from that what the right answer could be, but let's understand each option one by one. Middle adulthood is only focused on re-evaluating the life goals. The train has actually passed now. You need to re-evaluate what you have done. Okay. Early adulthood is actually involves in making significant decisions related to relationship, careers, life direction, including our dreams for future goals. Okay. So this is the actually answer. Then we have C, that is late adulthood. Here also we are reflecting on life and legacy, what we have done. Again, not experiencing anything or making decision here. We have done everything. The old age is a retirement phase, like everything is over. Now you are coping from your aging issues only. So we know that dream, mentioned relationship, and occupational decisions are the task of early adulthood, okay, which we all are in. So yeah, this is all we have to doing right now. Next question is, the theory of classical conditioning was promoted by classical conditioning. Okay. Uh, till now you should know the answer before reading the options even. But the options are A, Maria Montessori, B, Lee Vygotsky, C, Evan Pavlov, and D is Skinner. Let's understand each options one by one, but I'm hoping you know the answer. When we talk about Maria Montessori, we know she was related to the education. She has given the method of Montessori. She was focused on self-directed learning, hands-on experience of children. So she has talked about early childhood. Then we have Vygotsky. Vygotsky has given the theory of social culture theory, and he has talked about zone of proximal development, scaffolding, and everything. Okay. Then we have Pavlov. Pavlov has given classical conditioning. It is correctly mentioned here, and he has talked about how a stimulus and nurturing can condition someone's behavior. When we talk about Skinner has given, he's known for the behaviorism theory, which is stimulus, response, reinforcement, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishments. Now you can remember everything. Okay. So we know the correct answer for classical conditioning is Pavlov. Pavlov has given this theory. Moving towards the next question, which is according to Eric Erikson, when initiative is not encouraged, it leads to Erik Erickson's theory. Now recall all the things in Erik Erickson's theory. The A is shame, B is inferiority, C is isolation, and D is guilt. Let's understand each options. When we are talking about A option, that is shame, it is more associated with autonomy versus shame stage. Okay, where child may feel doubt or shame in their ability to control their own actions. When we are talking about inferiority, it is linked with the stage called industry versus inferiority, where child may feel inadequate uh, compared to peers. Okay, in feeling of inferiority. This is what we use in our day-to-day talk. Then we have isolation, the third option, that is related to intimacy versus isolation. We know this is the phase of like where we have failed to form a relationship, so it lead to isolation. When we talk about guilt, it occurs when children attempt at initiative and are criticized and not supported by their caregiver, as in parents or teacher. So we know now the correct answer is initiative. For initiative, it is guilt. Okay, if the child is taking initiative and he is not encouraged, it will create guilt in him. Moving towards the next question. This is also from the Erik Erickson's theory. Very important questions. Don't mess this question. Okay. According to Erik Erikson, first, the first stage of psychosocial development is intimacy versus isolation. The second is, you have to sequence this, okay? Second is, the eighth stage of psychosocial development is integrity versus despair. Then we have third, that is, the second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. The fifth stage is identity versus role confusion. The given codes are A, 1 is incorrect, and 2, 3, 4 are correct. B is 1, 2, 3, and 4 are correct. All are correct, it is saying. C option is 1, 2, 3, 4 are incorrect, means all are incorrect. Then we have last option, that is 1 and third are incorrect, but second and fourth are correct. So let me just ask you, the first stage of psychosocial development is intimacy and isolation. Remember it, just try to recall, okay? You'll know your answer. If I'll give you the clear explanation of it. So, you know, 8 stages are given by Erik Erikson. Here, the 4 stages, trust versus mistrust. Then we have autonomy versus shame and doubt. Then we have initiative versus guilt. Then we have industry versus inferiority. Fifth is identity versus role confusion. Sixth is intimacy versus isolation. Seventh is generativity versus stagnation. And last is ego identity versus despair. So we know that if we'll eliminate the first one, we will have a right answer. That is, first is incorrect and second, third, fourth are correct. So code A is our correct answer. Moving forward towards the next question. After her parents' bitter divorce, a 12-year-old girl refuses to sleep alone and crawls into her mother's bed each night. Which is the defense mechanism the girl is exhibiting? A is displacement, B is regression, C is projection, and D is repression. Okay, I know usually students get confused between regression and repression. Okay, let's move forward and understand each option. So when we talk about displacement, it is something like you are redirecting your emotion on someone or to someone who is safe. You know, like your boss has scolded you, who said bad things about you in the office, and you're coming back to your home and shouting at your kids and wife. That is displacement. Then we have regression. Regression is going back, okay, to your childhood. The emotion in the emotional stress. If you are experiencing any stress in your adulthood, then you will go back to the person you are in your early ages. Okay. Next is projection, like you're projecting your own feelings on someone else. The example can be like, she don't talk to me properly, that's why I'm not talking to her properly. Like, of course you are misbehaving, but you're projecting it on her. Like we all also do that. I don't want to eat ice cream. She wants to eat ice cream. That's why I also want to eat ice cream. Like, everyone does that, projecting. Okay. Then we have repression. Repression is blocking painful memory. That is, you have repressed something from your conscious awareness. Remember, in the word repression, you have the meaning of it. Okay, like you are forgetting any traumatic event. Now, when we are talking about the question which was asking about the girl whose parents got divorced recently, so she's going back to her mother and sleeping with her, which defense mechanism it is? It is regression. As a children, we used to do that. If you are scared or something, we used to, go back to our parents because we feel safe there. Now, being a 12-year-old, you are entering in your teenage actually. So she is using that defense mechanism that is called regression. Okay, this is regression. Don't forget, don't mess it up if any question comes from defense mechanism. Okay, this has came from somewhere. Yeah, arrange the following of Piaget's cognitive stages. This is came from there. Okay, the options are A, formal, B, sensory motor, C is concrete, and D is pre-operational. Oh, questions have gone back and forth, I guess. Yeah. So the answer is here. I'm sorry. The Piaget's cognitive stages. The first one will be sensory motor, that is B. Then we will have pre-operational, that is D. Then we have concrete operational, that will be C. And at the end, we will have formal operation stage. So this is the correct sequence: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, then formal operational stage. Again, next question is also a bit messed up. Sorry for this. Piaget described the stage of thinking that emerges during the adolescent as the thinking in the adolescent phase. The first is sensory motor, then we have formal operational stage, then we have pre-operational stage, and then we have concrete operational stage. So we know that when we are talking about adolescent phase thinking, it is formal operational stage. Okay, this is what we are talking about. Sensory is early stage, like 0 to 2 years. Pre-operational is after that, when we go to preschool. And we have concrete operation. We are going towards the maybe the third, fourth class. Then we have formal operation, which comes in the phase of adolescent. Okay, this is the correct answer. That is B. Next question is, Freud is too oral as Eric Erikson is too. The options are A, trust versus mistrust, B, autonomy versus shame and doubt, C, initiative versus guilt, and D, industry versus inferiority. So let me just tell you about the question he's asking. In the question they are asking actually, Freud has given oral development, oral stage, you can say, as a first stage. Okay. So Eric Erickson's first stage is, this is the question actually. Let me explain you. So we know that first stage of Eric Erickson's theory is trust versus mistrust. Then we have autonomy versus shame and doubt. Then we have initiative versus guilt. Then we have industry versus inferiority. Fifth is identity versus role confusion. Sixth is intimacy versus isolation. Seventh is generativity versus stagnation. And last is ego identity versus despair. So the correct answer will be first. So such kind of a questions, if they are gonna come, just have your instant mind. Okay, be conscious about them, relate them what they are asking. It can be tricky, but you can get to the answer because you know everything. You have learned everything. Have faith in yourself. So Freud is to oral, as Eric Erikson is to trust versus mistrust. That is option number A is correct. Next question. Vygotsky's theory has been criticized for A, failing to recognize how much child can learn when encouraged, B, neglecting the biological process, C, overlooking how people learn from each other. Okay, D, ignoring the dynamic interaction that occurs between people. Okay, if you know Vygotsky, you know what's the odd one out. So Vygotsky theory was criticized for not emphasizing on the role of biological process, wherein Piaget has emphasized on biological process. His focus was mainly on social interaction, cultural influence, how these things actually develop us, our cognitive is developed with the social interaction and cultural influence. So he has paid in the less emphasis on biological and innate factors that influence our cognitive development. So the odd one out will be B, neglecting the biological process. Rest he has included in his theory. So of course we know Vygotsky's work. He has emphasized on social interaction, interaction with others. A child is encouraged, then he actually learns a lot. We know this all. So A, C, D are actually the part of his theory, but B is the criticism that he got, that he has neglected the biological process. Next question. This is a match type of question. Here we have in list one that are different imitation. B is operant conditioning. C is defense mechanism. D is zone of proximal theory. A is ego development. In list two, we have one is psychoanalytical theory. Second is cultural historical theory. Third is cognitive development theory. Fourth is psychosocial development. And fifth is social learning stage theory. The given codes are A is 5, 2, 1, 3, 4. B is 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5. C is 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. D is 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. Let's understand this matching. Let me tell you. When we're talking about defense imitation, we are talking about social learning stage, like we are imitating someone. Then we have operant conditioning. It is a cultural historical theory. Defense mechanism are the part of psychoanalytical theory, the Freud's work. Zone of proximal development is cognitive developmental theory. Okay. Then we have ego development, which is in psychosocial developmental theory. So the correct answer will be A. That is fifth, second, first, third, and fourth. Moving forward towards the next question. Thorndike proposed that learning take place through A, conditioned response to stimulus, B, operant conditioning, C, trial and error, D, insightful problem solving. Let's understand each options. When we're talking about conditioned response to stimulus, it is a part of Fabler's theory, which is classical conditioning. When we are talking about operant conditioning, it is Skinner's theory, which is based on reinforcement and punishment. When you're talking about trial and error, it is a learning theory which emphasizes on how we learn by trying and making error, like problem solving activity. We are learning through that. Last is insightful problem solving, which is associated with Wolfgang Kohler and Gestalt's psychological work. Like insightful problem solving, how you need to heal yourself. Gestalt's work is very famous uh, in therapy, actually, Gestalt therapy, we say it. So when we are talking about Thorndike work, he has work on trial and error. He has given the concept of trial and error, that we try, we learn, we fail, we learn. This is how we do it. So he has emphasized on problem solving skills. Next question. According to Kübler-Ross, the stages for terminal ill person pass through when confronting their own death. The first is denial, then anger, then bargain, depression, and acceptance. So you have to arrange them in sequence. The given quotes are first, second, third, fourth, fifth. B is 2, 5, 3, 4, 1. C is 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. D is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So if you have understood this theory, you know that we go through denial, anger, bargain, depression, and acceptance. So to confuse you, these people have given it in a correct sequence. Don't get confused. It is in this phase only. We'll deny, then we'll be angry, like, oh, I can be sick. I have lived a good life. Then we'll be, no, God, please give me some more time. I want to live. Then we will be in depression. How this could happen? I don't want to eat, don't want to talk to anyone. Then slowly we'll accept it, like, okay, this is happening, now what to do? I need to have a treatment and everything, So this is code A is our correct answer. Okay. Next question is the right age of industry versus inferiority is A is 3 to 5 years, B is 6 to 12 years, C is 1 to 3 years, and last is adolescence. Let's understand these options. So this is the sequence we know, and it is talking about industry versus inferiority. So we know we go through in school age. Okay, school age, this is a right time when we go through the industry versus inferiority. We're in fear of other children, we feel, I cannot do it, they can do it. This competitive kind of a feeling. Yeah, I'm not good enough. Okay. So the correct answer for it will be 6 to 12 years. Okay. 6 to 12. 3 to 5? No, of course, for 3 to 5, it will be preschool initiative versus guild. So in industry versus inferiority will be 6 to 12 years. 1, 2, 3 years will be, tell me, early childhood autonomy versus shame in doubt when we are going through toilet training. And adolescent, we know it is a role confusion one. Okay, identity versus role confusion is adolescent. So school age will be the right answer. That is 6 to 12 years. Remember that. Now we have developmental task of middle age includes options are achieving civic and social responsibility. Second is assisting teenage children to become responsible and happy adults. Third is dissenting aged parents. Then the last is relating to spouse for better marital adjustment. The given quotes are all of them are correct. B is 1 is incorrect and 2, 3, 4 are correct. C is 3 is incorrect and 1, 2, 4 are correct. And D is all are incorrect. Let's understand each options. So simply if we'll eliminate the third one, dissenting aged parents, obviously we will not dissent them. That's wrong. All are will be the part of our code. So we'll see code C is the correct answer. That is, third we'll eliminate, third is incorrect, and 1, 2, 4 is the correct answer. That is a developmental task of a middle age, includes achieving civic and social responsibility, assisting teenage children to become responsible and happy adults, then relating to a spouse for better marital adjustment. And then we have identified the correct sequence of prenatal development. The A1 is period of fetus. Then we have period of embryo and period of ovum. Then we have period of B is period of ovum, period of embryo, period of fetus. C is period of ovum, period of fetus, period of embryo. And D is period of embryo, period of fetus, and period of ovum. Very confusing, no doubt. But we know prenatal is obviously period of the egg are forming, then the period of embryo will form, then the period of fetus, the full growth of a child. Okay, fetus is the last one. So the correct sequence will be this. The correct answer is option number B, period of ovum, period of embryo, and period of fetus. This is our prenatal development. Then we have Apgar score is given to whom? Okay, A is a large for gestural age infant. B is an infant at 10 months of age. C is newborn infant at 1 and 5 minutes of age. Minutes. Okay. And D, newborn infant at 1 hour after birth. Very careful. Okay. This is our Apgar scale. It is based on appearance, pulse, imminence, and activity response. This is given exactly after the birth of a child, just after the umbilical cord is cut. At that moment, in that delivery room, only Apgar scale is done. So we know the correct answer is for Apgar scale. It is given to newborn infant at 1 and 5 minutes of age, just after the birth. Don't get confused. Now we have arranged the stages of child development in correct sequence. First, we have prenatal, antenatal, neonate, toddler, and infancy. They are asking you to arrange them. The correct sequence will be, we'll see in the next slide, that is first prenatal, before birth. Okay. Then we'll have antenatal. That is also another term for prenatal, referring to care before birth. Okay. Neonate is the 21st 28 days after the birth of a child. Infancy is from birth to 1 year, and toddler we know when the kids just start to toddle. That is 1 to 3 years. Like toddle means walking. Okay. So we know the correct answer will be, first we will have B, that is antenatal, then we will have prenatal, then we will have neonate, then we have infancy, and at the end toddlerhood. So code C is our correct answer. Now arrange the developmental task during early childhood period in sequence. Learning to walk, learning to talk, data control, learning gender differences, and the last is distinguishing between right and wrong. So I have told you be careful with developmental tasks. They are gonna give you questions from there. This is the practice one. First, we'll learn bladder control. Then we'll learn to talk. Then we'll learn to walk. After that, gender difference. Then we have differentiate between right and wrong. So the correct sequence will be C, B, A, D, E. The code A is our correct answer. Now, during prenatal period, the germinal stage begin at conception and ends to dash weeks. They are asking about weeks, germinal stage. The option are A, 8, B is 4, C is 6, and the last option is 2. So we know germinal is from 0 to 2 weeks, embryonic is 3 to 8, and fetal is 9 weeks to birth. Fetal is the largest period of prenatal development, and the shortest is germinal. So the correct answer for this will be option number D. It is germinal stage begin from conception and to 2 weeks. Okay. I hope you people have enjoyed the session. So all the very best. If you have missed any question, just go through it again. Okay, be prepared with everything. You have learned everything. Have faith in yourself. Also, we are offering UGC NET and GRF classes, and the batches are running. If you want to join, if you want to prepare and have a detailed discussion about all of this, you can contact in the number given below. Thank you so much. Have a good day.